Hi, this is Sonia from B2 Healthcare. Today I would like to demonstrate how to edit a concept in a workflow scenario with one author and one reviewer. We'll also see how a user that is not assigned to the task is affected by a change. For this scenario, I created 4 accounts. I will be creating the task, Brandon will be the author, or she the reviewer, and Balazs won't be assigned to the task, he will be just browsing on main. Let's start by creating a task for this scenario. In the previous videos we worked on reference sets. Today we want to edit a concept, so we have to choose SNOMED CT authoring as the artifact type. The task will be to add a synonym to hand-10 virus and to set the new synonym as the preferred term. The scenario is the most simple scenario, single author with single reviewer, and I will just specify Brandon as the author and or she as the reviewer and submit the task to the task management system. So much for my account. Now let's go to Brandon's account, who will be the author. Right now there's no task activated here, so Brandon is on main. This means he cannot do any authoring work. Let's open the concept that we will be working on. Here it is. And since he can't do any authoring work, all the buttons that are associated with authoring are not displayed right now, so he can't do anything here. And also if you go to the context menu, there are just very few options available, and this is because he's working on main and not on the branch yet. Now let's open our task. Here it is. And activate the task. So now we've moved from main to the branch. You can see that the name of the task is displayed down here. And if we open the editor for this concept again, we can see that the editing options are now available. So the buttons are here, and it's the same for the context menu, so there are a lot more actions available, so you can add a child concept or inactivate a concept and so on. So it's always important to activate the task because you can only do authoring work when you're on the branch, when your task is displayed down here. Okay, now let's do some authoring. Let's create a synonym first. So I click on this blue triangle and just clone this synonym. This means that we're creating a copy of the description, so all settings like, for example, case sensitivity are also copied. And all I have to do is enter the new name for the description, which is hantavirus in my case. And now I also want to use this description as the new preferred term. The preferred term is always indicated by this red price ribbon or rosette icon. It's right now in front of this description here, and we would like to use the new description, so I just go to the blue triangle again and select Set to Singapore Preferred. This is the currently active language dialect that I'm using, and you can see that it moved here. So now we set the new synonym as the preferred term, and we need to save this work. And by saving it, the preferred term is now displayed up here in the editor and also used in the SNOMED CT view. So Brandon's work is done, and to push the workflow forward to the reviewer, he needs to change the task status from assigned to fixed and save this change, which will trigger an email notification to the reviewer. And the task is now assigned to the reviewer, so the green dot moved from the author to the reviewer. So Brandon's work is done now. Now we can go to or she's account, and let's just refresh the view to bring up the task. And here it is. To start the review, Orshi needs to activate the task here and go to the review tab. And I will just maximize this. And this is a bit different than in the previous videos. So this is what a review tab looks like when you're doing concept authoring. You can see the tree view, and the concepts that were changed are displayed in black font here. So we can see here hantavirus, and if I click it, additional information is displayed down here. We can see that a new synonym was added with the name hantavirus. This icon indicates that it's a description, that's this tag, and a plus indicates that a description was added. We can see the component, it's SNOMED CT description. So this is one part of the hierarchy that was changed, and then there was also a change here that is related to the preferred term. So the preferred term changed from hantavirus to hantavirus. So that was in the language reference set. So to start the review, Orshi has to go to this box, and she can either accept or reject the changes that were made. If she wanted to reject it, she would select this option, and then she could leave a comment down here in this box and reopen the bug to send it back to the author. But let's assume that the work is approved, and we just accept it and save the status change. If Orshi wanted to see the concept, she could just double click it right from the review tab, and that brings up the concept editor. Okay, so we saved the review. We can see accept here, and now we need to push the workflow forward and mark it as verified. So this is just like in the previous videos, and save the status change. So once this is done, this button is enabled. That's the promote button, and we can promote the modification to main. But I wanted to show you how this change affects someone who's not working on the task. So let's go to Balazs. So Balazs is just browsing on main, and let's assume he has the same concept editor open right now. So Balazs cannot see the changes that were made by Brandon and that were approved by Orshi yet. We still have the previous preferred term here. Now let's go back to Orshi. If we look at her editor, there the changes are already displayed. We can see there's a new synonym here and a new preferred term. So now Orshi will be promoting this change to main. So she's moving to main now from the branch that she was on. So everything is merged. And let's go to Balazs' account and see what happened. So since Balazs was just looking at this particular concept while it was changed, there's a message popping up here, a notification that the concept of this editor has been changed by Orshi, and all he has to do is click OK to refresh the editor, and we can see now that the new preferred term is also visible for Balazs, so everybody who's browsing on main can see the changes. Until it was promoted, only Orshi and Brandon and me, because I created the task, so only the people that were assigned to the task could see it. So that's all I wanted to show you today. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.